What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Scene Invaders Podcast. This is episode 433. As you can see tonight, we are missing a vital member of the show. Carly is not with us tonight. We do have lives outside of this, and she has personal things to take care of. But from what we hear, she'll be back next week. So we look forward to seeing her again. So you're stuck with us tonight, guys. It's just another boys' night. So we have Mr. Coach Dave, if you're nasty.
Howdy.
We have Mr. Brad from Canada.
We are all XY this week.
Yes, this is true. We are all XY this week. Including Brad from Canada, I guess, right?
Yeah, I'm here too. Hi, guys.
And please look at the threads on Mr. Brad from Canada tonight. This jacket is
it's straight out of Eastern Promises.
Yeah,
serving, homie. Absolutely
there's
serving.
Like some flowers and some dragons and peacocks on it. Yeah, it's one of those. I was going through my closet and I'm like, I remember this. And yes, there's matching pants.
To be fair, I'm pretty jealous of it, and I hope that doesn't go missing when we meet in person, sir.
Well, there's actually a funny story behind this. There's a club that I go to, and the owner, he is just a sweetheart of a guy.
Mhm.
But we'll go for breakfast, and he'll wear these like gaudy tracksuits, like tracksuit mafia tracksuits.
Love
That's
it.
bad Russian, even worse white guy trying to look cool tracksuits. Like think of was it Rocky 2 when he had that tiger robe? Yeah, stuff like that. So as a joke, all of us friends, we started buying these tracksuits. So whenever we go for breakfast, you'd have like 10, 12 idiots dressed in these freaking tracksuits. And we had
Right.
people stopping us, taking our picture, asking us, oh, what are you guys all about? Like, just fools. So, yeah.
We just like loud tracksuits. I'm
Just
the loud tracksuit
and
mafia.
you know what, man? They're comfortable. They're comfortable as all hell. It's fun, though.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Well, as we have been ramping up to for several weeks now at this point, we are giving away $200 here on the Scene Invaders podcast. And we have a winner to that. What we have decided to do is reach out to this person to ensure that everything goes well with the giveaway before we announce their name. And so we will be announcing the name next week as long as everything goes well. If for some reason we are not able to get a hold of this person or it does not work out for whatever reason, we will just draw again. We spun a wheel, landed on a name, and that's where we're at, guys. So next week we will have a name announcement, but after the show tonight, I'm going to get all the information over to our fearless leader, Dan from Scene Invaders, and he is going to reach out and take that from there. And tonight, our special topic, we're going to get started with that, guys, tonight. The special topic, and we're going to move into what we watched this past week. After that, this is one that was actually requested on Twitter from Stu, at Stuart Jerry. And this was a little while back. I know it's one we had talked about amongst ourselves for a while, but he was curious to know about the movies that make us cry. And for me, that's every movie, because I am a crybaby who is an emotional bear, as my name says. And this was hard because there were so many ways you could have gone about this. Of course, anything that some people never cry at a movie ever, and what may make you cry is so subjective and so personal and so based on your life and your experiences that I had to sort of narrow this down for myself a little bit into a category, but we'll talk about that when we get there. But tonight, we are going to find out what makes Mr. Coach Dave, if you're nasty, cry. We have something lovely. Oh my God.
That's going to make me
had
cry.
not looked at this. I don't like to see sad Coach. Oh my God.
Oh man,
This is
is
a
actually
horrible topic,
amazing,
Stu.
though.
This is a horrible topic, Stu.
I'm telling you, man, AI has just gotten better and better. Like in the last couple of weeks, I don't think it's just me learning how to use it better. It's
It knows
just
the shirt
getting
you're
better.
wearing.
Soon enough, it will replace us, and it will be running its own podcast and all of that. That's kind
And I
of
will
actually scary to
subscribe
think
to it.
about. but that's probably coming, guys, for real.
All right,
Yes.
so I threw on a honorable mention first.
Okay.
Okay. So this it's a pro shot musical, and it recently went public on PBS. It is still free to stream off PBS until July 1st, and that is the most recent version of the musical Next to Normal, which is about a mom dealing with being bipolar and how it affects her family. There's only 6 characters in the entire thing. Most notably, you have the doctor, who is played by like one of the more famous Aladdin genies from Broadway.
Okay.
And basically, the 2 teenagers are the ones that are getting Jack Wolf and Eleanor Worthington. Basically, are everybody's great in it. It is, and it's just heartbreaking. And there's 4 songs right now that will make me cry just listening to the songs.
Okay.
That's
powerful content.
That is very powerful content.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, almost even thinking about it, you start to kind of well up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Love that.
And it's one of those, like, I've seen it a couple times now, and it's one of those that, like, even when things are coming, you're still there. So it's a recent thing, so that's why I kind of went with that.
Sure.
But my other stuff are kind of your more traditional.
Gotcha. And take advantage of it while it's free right now on PBS,
Of
guys.
course.
I mean, my God, like, unless you hate musicals. Are you ready for your next one, sir?
We are.
We're going on to the next slide.
Awesome. So my number 3, it's the never-ending story. The saddest moment that's ever happened on the history of screen. I cried when I was a kid. I cried when I was a teenager, and I've cried when I'm an adult. Of R-Trax just choosing not to continue on. Fun fact: I found out that if you actually read the actual book, you can hear or read the thoughts of the horse.
No way.
As he is choosing to not continue on.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it's even apparently more devastating. But, there's a couple scenes that even hit a little harder now, where Atreyu is talking with the wolf at the end. And it's basically like, it's overall a big metaphor for death, of just like facing death and living with death, and the idea of like, well, we're all going to die, and how do we continue on knowing that we're all going to die?
Sure.
So
I haven't seen this in ages. I mean, just absolutely forever. So,
it holds up. A couple of the puppetry things don't really, but the story holds up.
That's the puppetry. The fact that it doesn't hold up makes it look so damn cool. It looks alien. It looks like there's no uncanny valley.
Yeah, right.
This is supposed to look like this, and
this was a practical puppet.
This is the world that they have given us, and we accepted it. Nobody ever said, "Oh, that looks so fake," because we know it's fake.
Well, actually, the Luck Dragon, which I have pictured there, still holds up.
It does.
It's some of the other characters in it that's a little more okay. It's just the practicality of them doesn't really work. But the Luck Dragon still holds up. The facial tics are great. Okay. So yeah, that was my number 3.
Okay.
Never-ending story. Did I tell you guys about the cosplay I saw? Never-ending story.
Oh yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm not trying to gatekeep your story. Go ahead.
No. There was a boy dressed as Atreyu, and he was dragging around a paper mache horse's head.
Okay.
That had like swamp around it. So the kid would turn around and just kneel down and be tugging, and people were like, "Oh my God." And this kid was about 10 years old, and it was the greatest thing I ever saw.
He was committed.
Oh yeah. It was my first Comic-Con. I went, "Oh my God, this is what people do here. This is the greatest thing in the world."
Okay, right. You're like, I'm home.
It was so good.
All right, next slide, sir.
So this one, on a clear day, I'm trying to think what year it was. I was a little on a clear day is What's the best way to describe it?
Hmm.
So it's 2005. It's a very British movie. Basically, he's a grandfather now, and Frank works on a shipping yard that's closing down, and he's basically becoming almost irrelevant. So he's laid off,
Okay.
and it's one of those like, okay, now what do I do with my life? Like, and he stumbles upon the challenge of swimming the English Channel. And basically, like, it's a small little town in England, and everybody's kind of set in their routine, and there's not really adventure or anything like that. So everybody just kind of cheers him on, and it's how each person interacts with him upon doing it. And all the while, he has this huge block between him and his son, because his son's twin brother had previously died drowning when they were kids. And there's this kind of resentment that the dad has pulled away from the family ever since that event. So the son thinks the dad doesn't love him. The dad is just kind of old and stuck in his ways. And it's a culmination of everything. It is a, father-son realization, and how he deals with his grandkids, his friends, and everything. So basically everybody starts putting their hopes and dreams on the man that had no hopes and dreams. And
so is this a feel-good cry?
Oh yes, this is not a like, everybody ends up dead.
Yeah,
like,
okay, right.
Just
Wait for my slides. No, I'm just kidding.
He doesn't make it. That's the crescendo.
The boat goes down, everybody dies, and
Okay, right.
No, this is one of those like
I'm immediately renting it right now. Like, oh wow, okay.
Like you see where the story is going. However, it's not what you think it is, and it is just a series of something happening that affects another, that
kind of like a butterfly
somehow it will touch you in something that you can relate to.
Sure, there's something relatable for everyone here.
Right.
Okay,
cool.
This is one I must see. Is this in Plex, out of curiosity?
It is, and it is, I believe, Benedict Wong's first movie.
Okay.
I see in the background there, yeah.
As well as one of the guys from the guys from Lord of the Rings, the guys with the feet, the hobbits. Yeah, one of the hobbits is in it too.
Okay.
Cool.
But it's one of those like, stick with it. I think it's I want to say a quick 90 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Too as well, which is always it's 95 minutes.
Okay. There it is.
I can't do it.
Sweet spot. All right, ready for the last one?
And the last one, Oh, Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl. Now it says it in the title.
Yeah,
but
kind of a little bit.
Just the way this movie is me.
Okay.
In terms of the basic story is you have the main character is he and his buddy Earl are film enthusiasts and filmmakers.
Okay.
And basically they kind of like redo all these crazy films and like put their own spin on it, and then like they just love film and they joke film. At the same time, it's all about kind of like growing up and being a high schooler and like expanding past cliques and groups and stuff like that.
Sure.
And just kind of on a whim, like their mom guilt trips the main character to go and just start hanging out with their neighbor whose daughter is dying.
Okay. Jesus.
So she has cancer, and she's, like she has terminal cancer. And they kind of go through all the stages of that with her trying to live a normal high school life. And it's
heavy.
It's heavy, and but they make so many great jokes and make so many great what you would consider memories.
Sure.
Okay.
Like I'm completely not selling this well.
No, this sounds
This
so
is intriguing.
up my alley in every way.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's
to
the
me,
title kind of threw me a little bit just because it almost seems comedic. You know what I mean? Like in a not like in a dark way, but nothing almost satirical. Like
it is.
I,
It is kind of almost a dark comedy.
Okay.
However, it's so real. My problem with Perks of Being a Wallflower, which a lot of people gravitate to, is it just seems so out there.
Okay.
The way everything is presented, of the kooky guy and the kooky girl and the guy without friends and the popular.
It's not as
kid.
grounded. Like,
and this is more like, yeah, guys. People don't just like. They're not cookie cutters. They don't fit into this and this and this.
sure.
And there's real depth with these characters.
Okay.
And it's a really great supporting cast of Nick Offerman and Molly Shannon, and Jay Barenthal plays a like a guidance counselor.
okay.
And it's so good. I'll just read the IMDb and then
Yeah.
but yeah, high schooler Greg, who spends most of his time making parodies of classic movies with his quote unquote coworker Earl, finds his outlook forever altered after befriending a classmate who has just been diagnosed with cancer.
Boy. Okay.
So
this is right at the top of my list now. Things that I want to
No
watch.
kidding. I want to see this.
Definitely.
Yeah, if you like Perks of Being a Wallflower, you're gonna love this, because this is it's Perks of Being a Wallflower, except for with real people.
Okay.
That's
sold. I mean, that sounds amazing for real. Great choices, sir. I love this.
Yeah, and I'd be curious if you guys do see this, what you think, because you know, as nerds, as film nerds as we are, the way that they parody films is. Do you remember the Jack Black "Be Kind, Rewind"?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's kind of similar to that.
Okay.
Only if kids were doing it.
Okay.
really
Gotcha.
okay. I'm done.
I'm a bit of a masochist, guys. I love movies that provoke strong emotions, especially ones that will make me cry. I use it in a strange way as like a form of therapy. Like it just lets me let some shit out a little bit. And
there's cry therapy. There's like cathartic release.
Yeah.
Like, and cinema is definitely the easiest way to get it done.
And the main girl, I think, is one of like the top young talents. She was.
What year is this from?
Yeah, I was about to ask that.
She was from House of a Dragon.
Oh, okay.
But she was also in like Ready Player One. She was Artemis.
Oh, okay. I know her. I like her.
Sound of Metal, Thoroughbreds. Like, you know, she has some chops. She's in the infamous House of Dragons thing where they talk about Negronis. You know, like, oh, what do you drink? What's your cocktail?
Oh, yes.
That's my favorite cocktail, guys.
Negronis.
I
Santiago.
don't know what that says about me, but I think they're delicious. God. Yeah, great choices,
So
sir.
yeah, check this one out. That one's definitely worth it. I'd say in that order.
Okay, there it is. Yeah, and I'm definitely checking that out, because
totally.
I've only cried like 7 times today, guys. So
the night is young.
Yeah, the night is young for real. All right, so we're gonna move on to Mr. Brad from Canada, and he does cry, guys.
I cry.
He can cry.
There we
go. Oh shit. I need to start looking at these before, but I mean, I kind of like the surprise of not doing that. Yeah,
it's so way better you going in blind.
This is true.
This is a picture a while ago because I had longer hair. But
so I know you were having a moment in the DMs the other day where you were like, "Oh, I don't know what to pick because of this and this," and I was like, "Honorable mention." So
no, I didn't do an honorable mention. No.
Okay, gotcha. No, ready for the first one?
Yes, sir.
All right.
The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. Have you guys seen this?
I have not.
Man.
Okay. Yeah. If you really, really hate yourself,
me,
you can watch this, and you know that even in the moments of levity, that nothing good is going to happen.
Okay.
It's Nazi Germany,
Sure.
and you have the boy Max, whose father runs a concentration camp, and Max, being an only child, wanders around through the fence and sees this boy in striped pajamas. It's not striped pajamas. It's a
uniform.
It's a Jewish prison uniform.
Okay.
And yes, children. So on the other side of the fence, Max and the boy Shmuel strike up a friendship. And I'm not going to spoil the end or anything like that because, oh God,
Yeah.
oh like Jesus Christ, I'm fucking gonna cry right now just talking about this movie. But just the absolute heartbreak of the situation. Everybody knows the situation.
Sure.
It is awful, and there's I'm not gonna say a worse twist, but just and not even a comeuppance, not even like it's a tragic, just a tragic story from beginning to freaking end.
Okay.
And the only levity is wrapped in awfulness. But every time Max and Shmuel have a conversation, and you can see that the hell that Shmuel's in, Max gives him a little bit of just being a kid, where they're playing checkers on the other side of the fence, and Max is moving the pieces because Shmuel can't reach them naturally.
Sure.
And just watching him smile just breaks me every time. And the end just broke me even worse.
Okay.
Oh, but like, this is going to sound bad. There is nothing good about this movie.
Okay.
Like there's
as in pleasurable, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean,
Yeah.
the movie is very well acted, directed. It punches you in the heart and gets your lung too. I don't know how, but yeah, like if you need to cry, watch this.
Okay.
And you will curse yourself for watching this.
Okay.
It is the best, worst movie I've ever seen.
Okay. I'm so in. God, I hate myself for being like this, but I'm like, oh wow, it's awful. Great.
Yeah,
I'm gonna cry constantly. Wonderful.
You absolutely will. You absolutely will.
All right, good choice, sir. And you guys are putting stuff on my radar that I'm excited about. I'm like, excited is that the right word? I mean, I guess kind of. Yeah, excited is a bad word to use for this, but yeah. All right, ready for your next one?
Do not watch all these movies in one night.
No, God. Oh my God.
Parse these out.
Okay, yeah, no, I can't. I know what I can take. I can only handle so much. Are you ready for your next one, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay.
This is also one of my favorite movies, and it is, in my opinion, Harrison Ford's best work, and that is Regarding Henry. Henry is a lawyer, kind of like Wall Street, high power, works for an evil law firm.
Okay.
Is probably the best way to describe it. And he has his wife, he has his daughter, and his wife is not, they're cold. Everybody's cold. And the daughter is on edge. She's scared because she's scared of her father. Her father tries to deem like respect out of her, but it comes across as fear. And I think his wife is a little afraid of him too. But during an outing to get something from the variety store, Henry's shot in the head by a robber.
Oh shit!
And is deemed brain dead. Comes back, but comes back completely blank, and has to relearn everything. And as he's relearning everything, he realizes that maybe he was not the best person. He was not the best husband. He was not the best father. And just watching him grow and realize that it makes me realize that no matter you're never the villain in your own story. You know, you might not be the hero. You might be just like a player, but you're never the villain. So it made me really take a look at my own life. Like, okay, if I wasn't me, would I appreciate me? Would I enjoy me? And in some aspects I do, in some aspects I wouldn't. So it
Sure.
made me kind of change a bit, like Henry did. And I watched this again recently and just cried my eyes out only because of the father-daughter relationship.
Okay.
And
Relatable for you.
that just absolutely kicks. Like, I never wanted my daughter to be afraid of me. She's very much not. I'm a little scared of her. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. Oh God. I understand that fear.
Teenage girls
Yes.
are terrifying.
Yes.
But I mean, there's a closeness that the family gets through this tragedy, and it's probably I think I said this once. It's the best worst thing that could ever happen to them.
Okay.
But yeah, it completely stalls their life and just reboots it at the same time. And watching Harrison Ford relearning how to read or tie his shoes and just be so vulnerable, it just
Sure.
makes me cry. Makes me
Yeah.
cry every time.
And this is a classic I have not seen. So
This was J.J. Abrams' first script he ever wrote.
oh my God. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was one of those. When I saw this growing up, it reiterated my desire to be a physical
Lawyer.
therapist. No, I wanted to like his
An
his
evil
rehab.
lawyer.
I wanted to be a physical therapist growing up.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
The character of the physical therapist, his name's Bradley, is just fantastic. Everybody's
Okay.
just banging on this. Like, it's so
All right.
good. So good. Everything.
Guarding Henry, guys. Another one I'm gonna need to see for real. Because I love a story where there's sort of like a blessing in disguise sort of incident that makes you kind of rethink your life and all of that. And this definitely sounds like that. So sold, Mr. Brad from Canada.
Yeah. Now, my next one, I kind of cheated. It wasn't a movie.
Okay.
Oh, I knew this was coming.
This is the one that I had trouble with, but this is from The Bear, and it is one of my favorite episodes of TV ever, Forks.
Okay. I've definitely heard
Yes.
that there's a lot of love for this episode. So
I don't know what it is, man. It's where Richie has to go and start from the bottom, the absolute bottom, and learn how to work within a 5-star restaurant. And he starts off just being Richie, obtuse, angry, until he starts seeing that people like doing this. They don't have to do this. They want to do this.
Mhm.
And they almost enjoy the abuse. They enjoy the pressure and the realization that not only does he think he can do this, he wants to,
And he's good at it.
and he is so good at it. And I never thought I would cry during a Taylor Swift song, but every time as Richie is driving, belting out freaking Romeo song,
Yep.
I cry. Tears just drop because he looks so happy and so celebrated, and it is just emotional all the time. And if you're watching on YouTube, on the top right where he's doing the fist pump, he actually says "Shoryuken" from Street Fighter 2.
Okay.
as a celebration, doing the dragon punch. And I don't know, that is just such a gleeful that leads right into everything, and I love it so much. I just, yeah, I had to end off with something that's a cathartic, yes, but just a great cry.
Sure.
Like, I'm happy to cry, so much to the point that every time that Taylor Swift song comes on my Spotify, I tear up a little bit because I'm normally driving. And no, Forks season 2 of The Bear is, I'll just say, it is my favorite episode of TV ever.
Okay. I think that's fair enough for real. And I'm having a good time right now picturing Brad from Canada driving around listening to Taylor Swift in this tracksuit right now. Like, I just need this entire whole thing. I think a short idea has been born here. Well,
Oh yeah,
if
the Taylor Swift people wouldn't come after us for
facts. That is fact.
I'm not saying I won't do it. But yeah,
and I guess
it'll be fun.
probably by now I'm sort of known for not indulging in a lot of like TV series on the show, but I did watch the first season of The Bear and I really liked it, so I do need to continue on with that. But I'm very bad with series, guys. I'm really bad with it. Even if I loved it, like I watched the first season of The Boys and I loved it and I was like, this was so good, and then I never continued on with it. So yeah,
there's so much to watch. There is so much to watch.
It's overwhelming.
It is. This is a very good first world problem, but it is. Hey, it's
That's
our
very
problem,
true.
damn it.
And while never as iconic as Miss Carly's teal and yellow, we do have Chad's
boom
black and red.
I love it.
I love
That's
this
a lot of red.
topic. It's something that I could probably make like 14 videos on because I am an emotional person. I am not afraid to be emotional. I lean into. I've cried on the internet, for God's sake, a number of times. Actually, I'm going to try to get through all this tonight without crying.
You don't have to. You can cry if you need to.
I think it is okay to let your emotions out, in my opinion.
Fuck yeah.
I did not do an honorable mention tonight. We would have been here all fucking night. Like if I decided to do honorable mentions or get too serious into this. And I wanted to I wanted to restrain myself a little bit by sort of like trying to pick one way to go about this. And the way that I chose to do it was more recent releases, 3 things that have been released over just the past couple of few years that I feel like deserve more attention, or maybe even got unnecessarily negative attention that really hit for me. So my first choice tonight is going to be
Trapped.
Okay, right. Chris said you should do Trap and talk about how you cried that you wasted an hour and 45 minutes in the theater. It's so funny. We were having that conversation before the show tonight. But my first choice is going to be The Whale, directed by Darren Aronofsky, with Brendan Fraser. And I know a lot of people really don't like this movie, and I can kind of see why. In a way, it's hella manipulative. I mean, my God, it's so manipulative, but it is so. I thought it was beautiful. I mean, it's about a man who loses his partner and is essentially eating himself to death. And he's trying to make amends with his daughter and kind of get that relationship back on track while dealing with the loss of a partner, his weight issues, his eating struggles, his lack of never leaving the house, like he never leaves the house, all that kind of shit. And this movie was something I went to see back to back in the theater. I saw it one night, I went back the next night, and I cried even harder the second time because the emotional journey that you go on, it's just so incredibly sad to watch someone who has lost so much give up, kind of. And during the time that this was out, I very much felt that, like, in a personal way in my life, because I'm not taking great care of myself, and I'd gone through tremendous loss, and I could very much relate to this character. I don't eat myself to death, but I abuse myself in other ways, unfortunately. And this movie just really, really hit for me. Just the relationship between him and his daughter, and the final scene of this movie, which I'm not going to spoil. I feel like this was under the radar in a way, unless you're like a real big film nerdy person for the most part. I think this is absolutely worth a watch. It's based on a stage play. I think it does very much feel that way as well. It's a one location. Yeah, it's a one location thing. People kind of come in and out of basically a one set. But this just really, really hit for me. And Brendan Fraser is just the humanity in this character, in this man. And you could look at this and see him in this like fat suit or whatever and think this is a gimmick. And I think you could be right in feeling that from the outside. But once you see this and see what he does here and the emotion that he brings to this role in this movie, and what could otherwise be kind of a not the best movie in the entire world, he makes this movie. And oh my god, I was a wreck both times, but especially the second time when I saw it, because I'd been through it. I knew where we were going, I knew where we were ending, and it just, oh my god.
I think
Just
in the secondary
tears.
viewing, Hong Chau's character
I love her.
was if not even more of a tragedy type thing.
Yeah,
of
Not
absolutely.
kidding.
trying to save those
Everything
that can't save themselves type
Yep.
of thing.
Yeah,
So
there's absolutely
selfless and everything she gave up.
Mhm.
absolutely. And this is
I-
certainly not a flashy movie in any way. It's quiet, it's somber, kind of. It has a couple of moments that, like, I mean, the opening scene of this movie is something I was like, okay.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, right. I mean, like jerking off to porn on your laptop, like not the way that I expected this movie to open, but it
Yeah.
just all really fits here, and it really goes to paint this picture of this man, this character. And I was very invested in him and his outcome and his family by the end of this, and it just really, really hit for me.
This movie has the scene that enraged me more than I've ever, like, I was seething. I was so mad at this one scene. The
Which,
delivery guy
oh, okay,
who showed some kindness,
sure.
but deep down just wanted to see.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean,
And
absolutely.
and just looking at the kid's face, the delivery guy's face, I was like,
Yeah.
you are the worst of the worst
Yeah.
people. I hope you fall down those goddamn stairs. I was
But I mean,
I don't know. I was just, maybe it's just because it is such an emotional movie, and it's like, it's a clenched fist through the whole thing. And then a little bit of, I've used the term a lot tonight, levity.
yeah,
And then it just, like, I stuck my hand out and you hit it with a hammer.
Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
so mad. I was fucking like,
and I think it was
like I
meant.
said,
I mean, I think it was
seething.
definitely meant to make you
It
feel that
nailed
way.
it. It was supposed to. It was supposed to.
Because by this
But
point in the movie, you do feel for this man, because this is who you're spending this entire movie with so far. So you
Right.
do come to like care about him and care about what's happening for him. You care about what's happened to him, and you don't want to see this person because you've come to like them. And I think he is likable. He's not always likable. He's not a perfect human or
Nope, not
anything
at all.
like that, but he is a decent person who has come across some hard situations and is not dealing with them well.
Right.
And yeah, the
It's
whale,
real.
man. And if you're put off by the name Darren Aronofsky, I can understand that. If you've seen things like Mother or even Requiem for a Dream, stuff like that, this is very different than most of his work. So this is a not Mother, which I like that too, but this
And
is
it
not that
not
movie. So if that
Requiem
movie
for a
like
Dream.
Mhm.
turned you off of him, this is not that. So this is much more accessible. Like I said, manipulative, but I think that's okay sometimes. I don't mind being emotionally manipulated. So my next movie is what I considered to be the very best movie of 2023, and that is Past Lives, written and directed by Celine Song. This movie, my God, I saw it 3 times in the theater. I cried harder every single time. And this is not even really necessarily a sad film. This is just a movie that makes you think about your life, where you are now because of the decisions that you've made throughout your life. This is an unbelievably mature look at past love, past romance, current relationships. And I never ever stopped thinking about this movie for the entirety of that year. From the moment I saw it, that this movie was on my mind every single day. It's still, I think about it all the time. It's about a couple of friends who, when they were younger, were in Korea. I'm not even sure the age, maybe like 7, 8, 9, like somewhere in that age range.
Yeah. Pre-adolescent.
Yeah, but they're very good friends, and the girl moves away with her family to the USA. And years later, these friends reconnect. And yes, they were very young at the time, but it felt like the kind of thing that could have become maybe like a romance one day. And this lady has a career. She is married and happily, and they do reconnect a couple of times over the years, but they really reconnect and decide to actually spend some time with each other as adults. And you just follow them basically for a day of reconnecting. And everywhere you think that a movie like this may go, like a kiss, a forbidden kiss that shouldn't happen or something like that, it never ever goes to these places.
No,
She's
it never
not
does the
unhappy.
easy sell.
No, never. And she's not unhappy in her life as it is. Yes, there's a lot of feeling and a lot of emotion and connection with this person from her past. And it just made me think so much about, like I said, the decisions that you make to get you to where you are in your life. It's one of the most, I think this movie is absolutely perfect. There is not a single thing I would change about this. I think it is perfection. It's beautiful to look at. It's beautifully written. The characters are so graceful and mature. And like I said, not making these stupid, dumb, like movie script decisions to add drama to things. This is just about mature adults living their lives.
Right.
And there is a scene toward the end of this, or at the very end of this, really, where I mean, I don't think we're spoiling anything here, guys. Like where she is saying goodbye to her years-long friend, essentially. And as she walks away from him, as he's getting in his Uber to go to the airport, she just breaks down and sobs. And
Right.
I was a fucking disaster during that scene. Just a fucking disaster. Every time I think about it, it makes me well up. And it's not because it's sad. There is just this beautiful reconnection of people and this weight that comes from having reconnected with someone from decades past.
It's
and
real.
weighing that, yeah, it's so real. And you're weighing that against your loving husband who is embracing you. And I think understanding exactly where she's coming from with this and why this is so highly charged and emotional for her. And oh god, this movie, it's so fucking good, guys. If you have not seen it, Past Lives, it is just an absolute must see. This was unquestionably my best film of 2023. Nothing even like my second was all my movies. I liked all of them, but there was nothing I knew that was ever going to top this for me, and it sure didn't by the end of the year. So this is a must.
It really addresses the thing that we all, at some point in our lives, we think that the grass is greener. And I don't care who you are. I don't care what perfect life you live or what miserable life you live. We all, at some point, have thought that the grass is greener. And I think this addresses it in such a healthy and responsible way.
Yes, those are two good words right there. Healthy and responsible.
Yeah, that it's like, listen, we can always joke and like, oh, if, I tried to see if the grass is greener and then everything fell apart. Well, why don't we look at this as if we are healthy adults? And this is that's what I think this movie just does. So this film does so well.
Yeah, it's exceptional in every way. Like it just like if there had been a kiss or a tryst or any of that kind of shit, it would lessen every single thing about this movie. Absolutely, because it would have been manufactured drama and something that did not need that. There was enough drama on the line here, enough that you cared about. That it's a quiet movie. It's not flashy, but it hits just so incredibly hard. And I cried even like so much harder the second time I saw it. Oh my god. And the third time, forget it. I was a disaster. Because you just know what's coming. You built up to all this, and it just, excellent. Past Lives, guys, watch it. And she has a new movie coming out very soon with Dakota Johnson called Materialists that I did watch the trailer for. And I can't lie, the trailer did not excite me very much. But I'm absolutely there like day fucking one because of this movie. I will go watch anything this woman does because this shit is perfection.
This is when A24 was kind of really pumping out all the hits.
They were, yeah, they killed
quiet
it.
hits, but like just damn good movies. And
They
then,
killed it with this one for
yeah,
real. And I feel like just a lot of people, like, again, with being A24, it's a smaller movie. Enough, not a ton of people I feel like know about this or saw it unless you're like super film nerd like us and shit like that. So this is one I recommend for everyone.
It would have been on the employee rack at every video store.
Yeah.
You know, and it would have been this would have been one of those ultimate video store finds of, like, you know, especially come Oscar time.
Yep. And this was, I was so thrilled to see it nominated for a Best Picture Oscar. I knew it wasn't going to win, but it just, this was another one of those kind of like The Substance. The nomination is the prize here. It deserved that clout, that recognition, especially for a first time filmmaker. It's just, it's a stunning movie. And my final movie is a manipulative as fuck tearjerker.
All dogs go to heaven.
I thought about it.
So
okay, right. It's absolutely here to make you cry. It knows that it's probably going to make you cry, and that is called Spoiler Alert. This is I feel like a lot of people don't know about this movie.
I've never even heard about it.
This is directed by Michael Showalter.
Like, really?
Oh, okay. And it has Jim Parsons.
Love Jim Parsons.
Yep.
And I love
Ben
Ben Aldridge
in this. It was, I was like, Jim Parsons, okay, let's go. The reason that it brought me in was because of the subject matter of this movie. This is a gay romance tragedy film, basically, about a kind of nerdy guy who meets a guy who's kind of out of his league in a way, but the sparks are there and a relationship ensues. You follow these characters over 13 years, and you see the beginning and end of their relationship, because by the end of the movie, they are estranged a bit, and one of them becomes terminal with cancer. And this hit at a time in my life where I mean, not necessarily the estranged part or any of that shit, but I lost my partner to cancer. And I went into this knowing this is probably going to make me cry as fuck. Like the trailer, like, bitch, I was a wreck for the trailer. So I was like, oh, I'm finna go have me a cathartic experience in the movies and go see Spoiler Alert. So when I went to see this, it was me and one other man in the theater. And by the end of this, I was dry heave sobbing, and so was he watching this movie. It like I said, it absolutely knows it's manipulating you to feel certain ways, but it's a great film. It's well done. It's smart. It's very mature. Again, kind of like Past Lives, because you are dealing with characters who are adults, have decided that maybe they don't belong together anymore, but still have a lot of love for each other, and there's a lot of emotion attached to that because we have spent 13 years together. Mm-hmm. And it just is, it's funny. It's sad, of course. It has Sally Field in it, so you get a little bit of her, like Sally Field, sprinkled up in here. And I just can't recommend this enough. There's a scene I was telling Chris about earlier where they've just met and they're going back to the Jim Parsons character's apartment for the first time. And as they're at the door to this apartment, he's very hesitant to let the guy in. And the guy's like, just who fucking cares? Like, let's just go in. Like, God. And they walk through the door, and Jim Parsons' character is obsessed with the Smurfs. So he has Smurfs toys and memorabilia and pillows and bedspread, and it's just like Smurfs everywhere. And it's just so like kind of relatable and funny and real and very human. And especially I think for a character like him that is been a little bit nerdy, isn't exactly connected, isn't like hip and cool and out at the clubs all the time and all that kind of shit. He's just kind of like living his normal, like, quiet gay man life, and then suddenly someone gets like entangled in that with him. But yeah, this I just can't recommend highly enough. It's a tearjerker for sure, but it's so entertaining and sweet and sad and funny, and yeah, very, very well done. The director of this also made a movie called The Big Sick, if you're familiar with that.
Yes, I do know that one.
Yeah,
so
I'd never heard of this movie.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I wanted to do this. Like, I really wanted to bring things that I felt like just were a little bit under the radar, kind of, or not
Oh,
on
shit.
like regular people's radar, I guess. But yeah, this was actually out in theaters, and I'm actually not sure where this is streaming. I did not look at that before the show. But if it is streaming somewhere, absolutely watch it. It's even worth the rental if you're not opposed to like a gay romance tragedy or whatever. I'm not sure what we call that subgenre, but a gay romance tragedy is what I will call this. But yeah, spoiler alert, guys. Super good.
All right. I got
All
a few
right.
things I got to check out.
Yeah. Oh God, me too. Fuck. Big time. So yeah, with that, I guess we're gonna hit you with what we watched this week. Spoiler alert for me, not off the movie title. I watched Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, but we'll talk about that a little bit at the end of the show. We are going to get started with Mr. Dave because I'm dying to know his take on this movie that I thought for sure I was going to get to see before this show, but life did not work out for me in that way. So
Life happens.
yeah, Mr. Dave. Did
Well,
I just call you Dave from
podcasting-
Canada? I really might have. Fuck. That's what we're at here
Podcasting
today.
happened to me on my way to go see Friendship.
Yeah.
The three of us did another video available on the channel of us going over Mission Impossible as I was driving to go see the movie Friendship.
Mhm.
That
was fun.
Friendship. So the IMDb summary for this is a suburban dad falls hard for his charismatic new neighbor. That's it. That's all
Okay.
that they have.
Sounds
This movie, I had to tell a story of like I would literally had to send a text in the middle of the movie because friend of the show Pat Egan had reviewed it and he loved it and all that, and literally two people walked out midway of this
Okay.
movie
Really?
I can see that.
saying this sucks and what the hell is going on.
No shit.
It is if you follow I think it's Tim Robinson
Mhm.
and his show it is very strange.
Okay.
However, the best way to put it is the relationship that we attach to people that is sometimes exaggerated, or how we see people without them necessarily seeing us,
Okay.
is kind of what this dark comedy delves in.
Okay.
Or it's kind of like back in middle school if the pretty girl loaned you her pencil
Mhm.
and all of a sudden you're going through a million thoughts of
Yes.
we're getting married and like
Okay,
we're gonna have
okay.
Oh, she
kids.
into me. She gave me her pencil. Like,
That's
If she
right.
gave me her pencil, I mean that's a ring, that's a binding contract. And it kind of plays with reality and not so reality on there very well. And I am not a person for cringe humor.
okay.
Like I don't get it. It doesn't. To me, that feeling of cringe just doesn't do anything for me.
Did you
No,
not like I
don't-
Love You, Man?
I don't.
Well, no, I liked I Love You, Man because I thought there was something more to it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I feel that.
Where like even when he's like, "Oh, slap at the bass," and
Yes.
as like as cringe as that is, you can relate to that. Of like,
Yeah. Sure. Of course.
Yeah. But this is kind of like it takes I Love You, Man. Like I Love You, Man, you have two equal partners that are agreeing to the basic awkwardness. This kind of it comes off as a little one-sided and stuff
Okay.
like that, and there's all these just kind of weird choices that don't pay off.
Oh, okay.
They're just weird to be weird.
Oh, I see.
In the
I hate that
in the-
sometimes for real.
well, in the trailer, there's this kind of thing where like their kid is making food for the mom and he feeds it to her and then he kisses her on the mouth. And that's just like weird and just never really addressed. It's just
Okay. Weird.
weird to be weird.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if you definitely need to run out to the theaters to see this.
Mhm.
Oh, really? Okay.
I don't think there's any huge spoilers that you're going to
Sure.
need to avoid. However, I do think it is a must see.
Okay.
Just because it is something unlike I have ever seen before.
Okay.
Okay, I like that.
I did watch the trailer for this. I tend to avoid trailers a lot, and A24 I think has a great track record with their trailers, so I was not terribly afraid of this one. And I definitely like everything you're saying. I think makes a lot of sense from what I saw from the trailer.
Yes,
and I'm still very excited for this one. Cringe humor isn't exactly my favorite thing in the world either, but something about the trailer just really hit for me, and I was like, oh, I could see myself very much liking this.
Yeah, listen, if we were forking out good money instead of being on the payment plan that we are, I'd be like, well, maybe we'd definitely wait for this. But hey, if there's nothing else, and honestly, when I was looking into theaters this week, there really wasn't anything else.
Right.
Like I wasn't really I didn't need to go see Lilo and Stitch.
No.
And it was kind of a couple of other generic horrors, and like I didn't even see anything like, oh, come see an old version of a Miyazaki. There really wasn't anything there. But I enjoyed it, and I recommend it.
Okay.
All right.
With caution. I think you probably know who you are if you're going into this movie. Like, this is probably not a general audience movie. You kind of feel whether you're going to vibe with this or not before.
You should know who Tim Robinson is and his work, even though he did not write or direct this.
Okay.
But you should know him from his work if you're going into it. So,
okay.
Paul Rudd is great. Kate Mara seems oddly cast, but good.
Okay.
And there's really, it's all kind of other character actors after that.
And then one question I have about this, that without spoilers, I mean, you said there's really no way to spoil it, but does this get like dark?
No, I mean,
I got the vibe that maybe it gets like dark.
No, it's not. It's not like like the dog told me to hack you all up and put you in a trash bag.
Okay, yeah, I wondered about like something along those lines.
That's pretty dark.
Yeah, that's dark for real, book.
No. The big reveal is not like, oh, they're ghosts. They're talking to me, or like, no.
Right, sure.
Aliens came. No, okay. So
I like the dog telling people to hack people up. Like, yeah.
Speaking of generic sci-fi, I also saw the most recent season 8 opener of Rick and Morty, and I will say that I think this is one of the best episodes that they have done in probably a good 5 years.
Really? Okay. I fell off the Rick and Morty train a little while ago, and apparently I missed a whole bunch of great stuff, but I think I had no idea about this show until a coworker said, because we were just talking, and he says, Rick and Morty, you gotta check it out. And the first episode with the ridiculousness, it was entertaining, it was silly, but then it almost got too serious. And it lost something for me. And then what happened with the creator, so the voices are a little not as such. Listen, I can separate.
Farland, we now have weird sounding muffins.
Yeah, I can separate the art from the artist unless you do something completely horrible. I mean, you're voicing cartoon characters. I'm there for cartoon characters.
Sure.
But yeah, it's would you say that this is like a call to arms for someone that has dropped off? You could just jump right back into it?
I would say choo choo, jump back on the train, Brad.
Beat
motherfuckers, get back on it. Yes. Right back on the Rick and Morty train.
So the basic point of the episode is the kids borrow Rick's cell phone charger and doesn't give him back. So because of that, he puts them in a matrix of his creation. And basically, as they are living through the matrix, everybody is reminding them that you must return a cell phone charger. So he forgets that he puts them in the matrix and gets blackout drunk.
Okay.
So they spend 20 years of their life in the Matrix being reminded about cell phone charges, and they have the ability of Edge of Tomorrow, where they can never die and it always resets.
It comes back.
Live, die, repeat.
Yeah,
Live, die, repeat. And then basically, like, when they come back out of the Matrix into the real world, they are teenagers and pre-adolescents, and they have the minds of grizzled 40-year-olds that have lived their whole
the experience. Oh, no way. That's
so like
neat.
it is a great episode for somebody who hasn't been on it. It's kind of a return to the pure sci-fi mind f
Okay.
that
I will.
it is known
I'll
for.
hop on the train. I'll take a look.
It's a return to form.
Because I heard all this stuff about evil Morty, Dark Morty, and all this stuff, and I'm like, man, I'm just not. I'm not that invested.
Okay.
So that's kind of like the long term, like it's but this is a kind of a one-off return to form.
Okay.
All right.
So other than that, it's our Mission Impossible. You can see our video of us doing that.
And that video featuring Dave's hair, actually, he may not be in the first part of the video, but he does appear later on, wig busted, like just looking amazing.
Yeah. We had a stunt performer for him for the first little bit while he was driving.
Oh my god, I laughed so hard with that video, guys. But yeah, it is a video on the Scene Invaders podcast channel on YouTube. So definitely check that out.
It was just so funny to just kind of come up with the whole thing as we were like, as I'm driving and you guys really like we're just discussing. I'm like, it'd be really cool if we did this. Like,
do we guys want to do a video? We all just saw it, just saw it.
Mm-hmm.
And we did one of those impromptu fun things, but we enjoy doing those.
I was the late bloomer, guys. I saw it last, but we did all see it in the same day.
We all saw it in the same day.
Yeah,
in the same 24 hours, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, you saw the day previously.
Yeah, I got the midnight.
You were like
show
super special. Dang.
Yeah, I saw like in the afternoon.
Coach, like,
oh yeah, I got
no big deal. What about you, Mr. Brad from Canada? What did you watch this week other than Mission Impossible?
Well, yeah, I saw Mission Impossible. But then I stayed home and I watched the Prime movie, The Fountain of Youth, and with Natalie Portman and John Krasinski.
Oh,
and
why haven't I heard of this? Like, what is happening?
It's straight to streaming.
Well, it's born from streaming, so I mean, it's the equivalent of like a Netflix original movie.
Natalie Portman, I love her.
Yeah, and it's about when you hear John Krasinski and Natalie Portman, you're like, oh, okay, well, they're gonna have good chemistry as either angry lovers or,
Sure.
Well, no, they play brother and sister in this.
Oh,
which
okay.
I thought, okay, neat twist. Honestly, neat twist.
Yeah.
It's about a billionaire philanthropist who is dying, so he hires John Krasinski, whom is a kind of a, I'm not going to say Indiana Jones, because he's not Indiana Jones. Maybe Nathan Drake.
Oh, okay.
I'd say more Nathan Drake, Uncharted kind of thing, and his sister to find the rumored Fountain of Youth to restore him because he's got liver cancer.
Oh, okay.
And the machinations that go with it. His sister is not really on board with this. She's not a stick in the mud or anything like that, but she's not completely on board. And John Krasinski is very devil may care. Just, hey, let's do this. It'll be fun, And their relationship with their father, who's no longer with them, weighs very much on both of them. And it was a good movie to watch them be them.
Okay.
Like I said, the chemistry is there. Not romantic because they're brother and sister.
Sure.
But they came off as brother and sister.
Okay.
And it kind of worked.
Okay.
It's not the best movie. The ending is a little weak. But I don't think it was a waste of my time.
Okay.
Like I was happy to just chill out in the afternoon and watch it.
Mhm.
So I'd say it's a low buy for me.
Okay.
But it's a buy nonetheless.
So you'd watch it again.
I probably wouldn't watch it again. I don't need to.
Okay.
But I was kind of happy that I did watch it.
Yeah.
Because I like the actors in it.
Okay.
And the story is kind of neat.
Okay.
I mean, it's a billionaire dying, so we hire someone to find him a cure. Now there's twists and turns and all the rest.
Sure. It sounds interesting for sure.
Yeah, and I'd say interesting was probably the best way. But yeah, no, it had some good jokes and some really beautiful scenery, some weak effects here and there. But like I said, I don't know why I'm looking at it with such a critical eye, because it was just a good time.
Sure.
Yeah. And then I watched the 2-part documentary of Pee Wee Herman as himself,
I'm very curious about this.
about the actor, the life of Paul Rubens, who was Pee Wee Herman, and just the absolute fascinating life he has led, from growing up where he grew up, being angry at being angry at child actors, knowing that he could do it better.
Mhm.
Moved to a town where there was a circus, so you would see circus people in the grocery store.
Sure.
And just him going to the growlings, him finding his sexuality, the controversies that followed him,
Sure.
from the indecent exposure. But it gets me really thinking that wouldn't even be a charge today.
I'm not even, honestly, if I'm being honest, sure what happened there.
He was. I tend to disavow the term caught,
Sure.
because he was apparently masturbating in a porn
An
theater.
adult theater.
Oh, okay. That seems like a place built for that. I
Isn't that
guess,
where you're
right?
supposed to do it?
Like, I mean,
If you can do it anywhere, but
I'm doing that right now, actually.
Me
You just
too.
can't tell.
Yeah. Dave's like, I'm out of here.
No,
Like, you know what?
I remember this happening, and to me, it sounds like either a disgruntled police officer
Sure.
or an agenda-driven type thing.
Mhm.
Because again, I remember because he was asexual, and being asexual back then, well, he presented himself
He presented himself as asexual. He is a gay man.
correct.
But it never. The problem they had with it is that he had a kids show,
Sure.
and they're like, "Well,
Agenda.
you can't do that."
For sure.
But I mean, this was after his kids show was done.
Right.
Sure.
Not to say that it's good, bad, or I just think it's such a weak charge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
He
wasn't
wasn't doing
dressed
it
up-
on the kids' show. So,
No,
No, he was, and he had like a full goatee. He didn't look anything like the character. Like it seemed almost like a setup, or even like one of those things of like, well, if enough people come in the theater, we can just bust them all, and
Mhm.
yeah,
that type of thing.
Sure.
yeah. But they never mentioned if it was gay cinema, and I don't know
Okay.
why I thought they would have back then, just because of the sensationalized
Sure.
charge. But
Because that's
I
just
mean,
another headline. Like,
ultimately, he had to pay a whopping fine of $140.
oh, wow. God.
Yeah, and it was just, it really, he says, it didn't really hurt my career. He said, because my career is where it was not done, but
Yeah,
he said I was in a transition period.
Sure.
He
Yeah.
says what hurt the most was what my so-called friends were saying about me, like Sam
Probably
Kinison
pressure
and
to say.
Sam Kinison and her friends. He said, oh, well, you can't do that. Phil Hartman was not very kind to him, and they kind of developed the Pee Wee's Playhouse show together.
Mhm.
And they said it was estranged and disgruntled, and so it was just, In Living Color jumped all over it with Jim Carrey's impression. And yeah, but I mean,
Was Paul Rubens a part of this documentary?
oh yes,
Oh, okay, good.
yeah,
Okay, I
no,
like that.
it is him.
Okay.
This is the
So it's not like
document.
some sensational, like, I mean, like if he's
No,
a part
no,
of
no,
it,
no,
then
no, no.
I
This
think he's
this
trying
is
to clear
his
the air.
this is his story. No,
Okay.
from birth to death, essentially, because he died during the making of this.
Oh, okay.
Do
He
you remember his comeback? He came back on the MTV
MTV Awards.
awards and
Yeah.
had the greatest line ever of, had heard any good jokes?
Heard any good jokes lately? Yeah, because all anybody had was jokes about him.
Yeah.
But he never presented himself as Paul Rubens. He was always Pee Wee Herman for the
Mhm.
longest time. Pee Wee Herman got the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Pee Wee Herman was starring in the movies. Pee Wee Herman was on Hollywood Squares. I mean, Paul Rubens wasn't.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, there's a duality there, and he could like he
They're
said, "Listen, I'm a pot enthusiast gay man."
Okay, right. I
Like,
was gonna say there are probably more roles than this out there, but like I was kind of shocked when I saw him in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like as not
Mhm.
Pee Wee Herman. You know what I mean?
well,
Like it just was so crazy to see him not in that gray suit. And
the thing is, there is a role that he plays that, for me, it is my absolute favorite performance of all time ever. Any actor.
okay,
Better in, like, I love Al Pacino, I love Harrison Ford, I love Robert De Niro, I love all these classic Jack Nicholson, all the best of the best. And I think Paul Rubens portraying Derek for real in the movie Blow
oh okay,
is
I've not
the
seen that.
greatest performance ever.
I love the
Ever,
name Derek for
ever,
real. Fuck.
ever. Real guy, based on a true story. Yeah, Johnny Depp portrays George Young in the movie Blow, and it
Okay.
is like I stand by it. It is whether the best or not. It is my absolute favorite performance ever.
Okay.
Is him
Fair
playing this
enough.
part, and it was it was so awesome seeing him being him.
Mhm.
But I mean, it was, you get some behind the scene things when the documentarian is talking to him, and he's like, "Well, you're not going to trap me in that." And he says, "I'm not trying to trap you." And he's like, "Good, because you can't." He says, "Because there's no trap." He
Right.
says, "Because I've got nothing to lose."
Okay.
And it's kind of like he'd been battling cancer for about 6 years at that point, and he didn't tell anybody. Nobody knew.
Okay.
So I mean, he really had nothing to lose. But even it says the documentarian was saying, like, "I wish you could trust me
Mhm.
with this process." And he's like, "I don't know if I trust you."
Sure. I think that's fair.
He said,
For
"Why
real.
would I?"
Yeah.
He said, "You can edit this however you want. I can't trust you."
Yeah.
And it was just kind of a weird thing, but you can't deny his talent,
Sure.
the innovation and everything. And he, like, beyond just being Pee Wee, he's just fantastic at his craft.
Yeah.
Right.
A very interesting dude for sure.
Extremely. And yeah, I also saw Mission Impossible.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say that's the only thing I had this week,
That's
guys.
it.
I saw Mission Impossible. I had other plans, but they did not work out that way. But again, I guess another plug for the video. Go watch our Mission Impossible day one review, basically.
Yeah,
with the
what is
three
it?
of
20
us.
minutes? Come on.
Yeah, 20 minutes. Easy
If
to
you
digest,
watch
right?
an hour of this, you can chill out and watch 20 minutes of that.
That's facts for sure. And again, we have chosen a winner for the $200 giveaway. We're going to reach out to them. As long as everything goes smoothly and goes well, we will announce that name on next week's show. So definitely stay tuned and come back for that. And we've been doing this a lot lately. Is there anything this week or coming up that you are excited
This was
to go and see?
a request. This was a request. A request week where
Yes, it was.
our no, okay, I'm
Stu.
gonna stop talking. I'm going to stare off into space now.
Beep, beep,
Yes.
motherfucker, get it back.
Yeah. Stu
Get it
requested
back.
this topic for the night, and it's one again we had talked about a lot, but he really nudged us in this direction to make this show that about movies that makes us cry, or movies or TV shows, I should say, that make us cry.
Yeah, I
so
cheated.
yeah, we were happy to do
Or
this.
theater.
Or
theater.
theater.
Or
Yeah,
theater,
that's true.
yeah.
Pro shots. We got everything tonight. We got
We do
TV shows,
everything.
pro
We do
shots,
everything here.
movies, all of it, guys.
Videos
And-
about puppies.
Oh dear.
And I am like, friendship is still really highly on my radar. I definitely want to see that so badly. And then this week, from directors Danny and Michael Philippou, comes their sophomore film, Bring Her Back. They made Talk to Me a couple of years ago, a horror possession film. This seems to be kind of in the same vein of that, maybe just in a different direction.
That looks scary.
I'm
like legit scary.
I'm very excited. I guess it's very
So you enjoy
dark.
that? Can you
Yeah,
tell
okay,
me
right.
about that?
This is
'Cause I
what
will not be
Chad is
seeing
going to
that.
say. I know I am the sole one, at least on the podcast tonight, that will be enjoying Bring Her Back. But it's been very anticipated for me. And Talk to Me was great, man. Talk to Me was sort of, at the time that it came out, it felt to me like one of the most, if not maybe the most mainstream feeling A24 films that had come out. I feel like this may not quite be like that, though. I think this one's going to not be as accessible, maybe, as Talk to Me. It's hard to say, though. I've seen a snippet of trailer, but I'm very excited and interested. I love it, guys. And I should mention, we have mentioned Carly and I doing a video for the Final Destination series that did get pushed back just a little bit. Life gets in the way sometimes, guys. So we are planning to film that this weekend. Should be out for you next week, alongside a new podcast episode and a winner reveal and announcement that I'm very excited about. So anything else anybody else has to say before we get the fuck out of here tonight?
Dave and I have been covering The Last of Us season 2.
We
Got
wrap
that
up tomorrow.
last video to record. Life has gotten in the way. Yes.
Yeah,
But,
it does.
yeah. That'll
When
be
this
out,
is not your full-time job, you have to sometimes
Yeah.
make concessions for for other things. Unfortunately, we would love for this to be our full-time job, but
Tell you
as
that.
of this moment in time, it is not. So
we just got to get good at it first. And then
I think
maybe
we are
it's-
good at it. I love watching our videos back. I'd be having a fucking ball. I laugh all the time and shit.
Oh, so
I
you're the
have a
one.
great time. Okay, right. I'm the one. I have so much fun with this shit. I love it.
Yeah, I love doing this too, and I hope you guys love it too. Because let us know.
Yeah.
Give us an idea. Give us a suggestion. We prove that
Just
we
like
do it.
Stu
Better late
tonight
than
with-
never, but we do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, absolutely. Like Stu did, any suggestions, recommendations you have, things you want us to watch, comment on, ideas you have for a topic for the show, we're always open ears on that. And it may not happen right away because we have a lot on our plate sometimes as far as ideas, but we're going to get there for you, and we're always happy to accommodate what you guys want. So yeah, I guess other than that, good night, guys. We'll see you next week. Final Destination, fucking podcast. Sorry, Final Destination podcast.
Stare off in the space.
And then Sarah,
We have
I could not remember The Last of Us for the fucking life of me. So The Last of Us as well is coming your way, guys. But
all right.
Good
This is
night.
us trying to end it.
Yes.
End it. Just stop.
awkward ending.
Stop it. To stop everything.